Welcome to Supply Chain Dialog, podcast di mana kita bisa sharing, diskusi seputar isu terkini atau tren-tren terkini terkait supply chain management dan juga logistics management. Oke, sebelum kita ngobrol-ngobrol lebih jauh, jangan lupa untuk subscribe YouTube ISC Indonesia dan juga follow seluruh platform media sosial ISC Indonesia biar Anda nggak ketinggalan konten-konten menarik lainnya seputar supply chain. Oke, seperti yang kita ketahui, logistics tuh makin hari makin canggih ya. Baik Anda ini seorang pelanggan yang menerima barang ataupun pelaku bisnis gitu yang mengantarkan barang. Kita bisa melihat bagaimana sebuah perusahaan itu mengantarkan barang dari hulu hingga ke hilir, itu caranya udah jauh lebih advance gitu ya. Terutama karena ada digitalisasi yang memimpin perubahan pesat ini gitu. Di episode kali ini kita akan membahas lebih detail seputar masa depan logistics gitu ya. Biar obrolannya makin mantap, kita akan mengundang salah satu narasumber yang memang sudah expert di bidang ini. Beliau berasal dari Singapura, so kita akan ngobrol-ngobrol secara virtual nih bersama beliau. We have Sean, the Regional Director for Asian Pacific at PTV Logistics, joining us to talk about transport digitalization. So we're going to explore how technologies like AI, big data, IoT, you name it, are changing the way how goods are moved across the globe, and specifically what it means for markets like Indonesia. So I'm pretty sure it's going to be a very insightful conversation. So let's say hi to our speaker. Hello, Sean.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Hi.
How are you doing?
Good. Good.
Good.
Happy
Yeah,
to be here.
you're doing well.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for taking your time to do this, to have a chat with us, to do this supply chain dialogue. Before we start, I think it's very important for us to get to know a little bit better about PTV Logistics and specifically how PTV Logistics play a part in transport digitalization in logistics sector.
Great. Thank you. Thank you. So, just maybe a quick introduction of PTV Logistics. So, PTV Logistics is actually a 44-year-old German company. Okay, so we are one of the leaders in route optimization, one of the pioneers in route optimization. Okay, and as a pioneer and a fairly old company, PTV's contribution to route optimization is quite significant. Okay, we are a huge market leader in Europe. Everyone knows who we are. About 70% of all TMSs in Europe uses our engines for route optimization, so our reach is quite wide. Yeah. Um, PTV Logistics has been around throughout the entire journey of digitalization of the land transport industry, right? So as a company, we've seen how land transport has evolved and how route optimization has contributed to the digitalization of land transport, and the optimization of land transport in Europe. And now we're actually expanding into areas like Southeast Asia and Asia Pacific region. I think that's where the next big wave is, and I think that's what the interest of today's conversation will be as well. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, thank you so much. So it sounds like PDV is playing a huge role, in helping businesses to navigate such a important transformation, specifically in the logistics landscape. So I think our audience will be very excited to hear more about this.
Hope
And
so.
yeah. Speaking of transformation, so obviously digital transformation has been a quite a hot topic, in logistics for some time now. Can you share it how it has impacted the logistics and transport sectors in recent years?
Okay. Digitization and digitalization, or rather digital transformation of logistics industry is, frankly, in my opinion, still a little bit slow. Especially in this part of the world. Places like Europe, and the US, they have the journey of digitalization has been a lot faster. Okay, but when it comes to Southeast Asia, even countries like Singapore, it's not super advanced as of yet. Okay, a lot of businesses are still in the what we call digitization stage, not even digitalization stage, right? So digitization is turning from paper into into electronic record, right? So a lot of businesses are still in that stage. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, but I think a lot of them are still seeing, are actually starting to see the need of digitalization because customers are asking for it, right? Especially big multinational customers are seeing the benefit of it and asking for it, right? So from a last mile route optimization standpoint, digital transformation has been quite real, right? The whole point of it is it's digital transformation in that particular space is actually to help businesses cut costs. Okay. Um, and what do I mean by cut costs? So cutting costs can come in many different ways. Okay. And but for route optimization, it's about cutting costs in a very measurable way. Okay. So today, there are a lot of things that impact
Mhm.
um, land logistic businesses. Okay. In every country around Southeast Asia, Indonesia included, cost of labor is going up. Fuel
Mhm.
cost is expensive. Okay. There's inflation. So prices are on the rise. Okay. Which means cost of doing business is on the rise. Right.
Mhm.
Uh, and this is even more apparent in countries like Australia, countries like Singapore, countries like Japan, okay, where cost of labor is much, much higher. So digitalization, the impact of route optimization and digitalization actually helps companies save money by reducing travel time,
Mhm.
reducing cost of labor, by reducing the amount of drivers they need, by reducing the size of the fleet. So instead of needing 100 vehicles, now they maybe need 80 vehicles, okay,
Mhm.
because their business is optimized and cost is optimized. So therefore, cost savings go direct to the bottom line, okay, and it's heavily measurable. And I think many businesses are starting to look into that, especially in Southeast Asia where cost is going up quite quickly, right? And of course, when you reduce the number of vehicles, you reduce the size of the fleet, you reduce distance traveled, you save on carbon emissions. So one of the keywords today, obviously, is sustainability, right? And there's direct impact to sustainability because you drive less, you burn less fuel, therefore you save on carbon emissions. It's very straightforward, right? So from optimization standpoint, there is quite a great impact to digitalization or now and in the future, right? And the concept of optimization is great for many companies that's in the process of digital transformation. Okay, but in order to really make use of it, a lot of the companies require good data sources, so therefore before going into route optimization, many of the companies take one step back and look, okay, is my business suitable for it? If it's not suitable for it, they take steps to start digitizing the business, okay? Turning or collecting data, tracking the right data, improving real-time tracking, improving their own visibility before going into route optimization, right? Uh, Really one of the big things about digital transformation also, especially in the B2C space, right, is that you as a consumer get fairly good customer service when it comes to buying items of Tokopedia, buying items of you know Lazada, buying items of Shopee. You know roughly when the delivery is coming. When the delivery is coming, on the day itself, you get a text message or you get an SMS or you get a WhatsApp saying or email saying the item is coming, right? But if you work in the B2B space, you realize that this type of customer service is very rare, right? There are very few systems in place, okay, and to actually allow for people to understand, okay, when is the ETA, tracking of the B2B delivery, for example. So as a consumer, you're already used to this experience. When you go to work in your logistics business, you also do expect this kind of experience, which you don't get. Okay, so digital transformation also of the B2C industry actually heavily impacts the B2B industry, right? Where consumers are also the users of B2B technology and they want the same type of experience, right? And that's also something that PTV aims to provide.
Okay, so obviously PTV has been making a lot of impacts, especially in reducing costs. I heard that you mentioned that, and
Yeah.
it's been quite a challenge, yeah, in Southeast Asia because we are at the stage of digitization. Is that
Yes,
right? Yeah.
correct.
Instead of like going faster to digital transformation, I think
Yes,
uh, it's going to be quite a journey, yeah, to achieve that,
yes.
pursue that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And looking ahead, do you think there are any key trends in transport digitalization that you foresee will shape the next 5 to 10 years? Are there any technological innovations that you think will drive this transformation?
I think there are quite a lot. Okay. One of the things is obviously AI, right? There's a lot of conversations around AI can help logistics business. From a route optimization standpoint, AI actually assists in this particular component of route optimization called dynamic optimization. So, for example, one of the things that dynamic route optimization is being used for is, for example, in allowing customers to choose their own preferential time slot, right?
Oh.
So basically, what this does is that AI can actually be used to shorten the process, okay, of actually, so basically AI can be used to recommend, for example, what is the shortest possible time slot based on historical records without human input. Maybe another key trend would be collaboration and shared economy, right? Right now, today, logistics space is a very fragmented one. Last mile logistics, you have businesses with many, many, many subcontractors, right? You can have 100 vehicles, okay, but 20 subcontractors. Some of the subcontractors are as small as one, two vehicles, right? Those mom and pops, families that own one or two trucks, and then they just drive the truck as a family business, right? So it's a very fragmented economy, fragmented service, and there's a lot of inefficiencies in that. So I think the industry in general could uh, collaborate a bit more, right? Build shared platform, shared economy in order to increase utilization and productivity of vehicles. I think one of the concepts that have been bandied around in transport digitalization is actually the Uberization of assets, right? So, and that is also another function of dynamic routing. Right? Uberization of assets means that for example, you have a truck doing a delivery and goes to a loading bay and he has to wait. Okay. And he does his delivery, and he has to wait for example, if he's delivering a container, as a prime mover delivering a container, he drops the container at the loading bay. He needs to wait for it to be unloaded. It takes maybe 3, 4 hours for it to be unloaded. And what he usually does is he just waits outside of the warehouse, right? And all of that is cost. That 3, 4 hours of him doing nothing is cost, right? Is cost to the company, which eventually translates to cost to the customer, to the end customer. So that 3, 4 hours of waiting time, he could be assigned or Uberized to do another job, another delivery. So that's what we mean by collaboration between different companies as well. Yeah.
Okay. It's very great to hear that technologies like AI, they're no longer just buzzwords anymore. They're real solutions, yeah, in driving efficiency and optimization in logistics. But it's also very important to have a very accurate data in order to drive the AI.
Correct. You're absolutely
Yeah.
right. Yes. So data AI AI and optimization engines are all the same. It is what we call rubbish in, rubbish out, right? Yes. So if you teach the AI the wrong things, okay, or you feed uh bad data into an optimization engine, the results you'll get is a poor one, right? So that's where uh, data collection, data cleaning, and data clarity is extremely important. Uh, this is a concept that is not new. Okay, it is a concept that has been spoken about for the last 20 years at least, right? And sad to say that a lot of businesses are not there yet, okay, because there's very little investment about or very little understanding of why this is necessary. Okay, but actually that's also where AI can come in. As you have heard, Chat GPT itself is very capable of cleaning up text-based reports. They can fix broken code uh, in development, front-end development work, back-end development work. They're able to fix broken code. Okay, and they're also able to do things like data cleaning, right? If you feed a set of data in, it can identify or can make simple adjustments
Mhm.
to the data based on what it understands to be the objective of that set of data, right?
Mhm.
So my opinion is that a lot of businesses today should actually be focusing on data visibility of their fleet and collection of data, understanding what's the single source of truth first, okay, before actually implementing any other solution, because that is really the basis of success.
Okay, so visibility of, I mean, like the data sharing, is that right?
It's more of a data collection.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yes.
But what's really striking to me is that how these technologies could really turn reactive decision making into a proactive strategies. With these technologies, we're able to leverage real-time data. There's also what you mentioned about the predictive data analytics. Sounds like they're the game changers these days. Yeah, so
Provided you have the right set of data. Yes, they are the
yeah.
game changer.
Yeah, I see. We can really see the potential, right, for
Yeah,
this reducing the inefficiencies and creating more resilient supply chains through
correct.
this collection of data, with the right accuracy. Okay, so I want to hear about your perspective or of Indonesian's market. So let's now talk about Indonesia.
Sure.
Are some of those global trends that you mentioned before and in transport digitalization particularly relevant here in Indonesia? And how do you think they can be translated into the local market?
Okay, great. So one of the global trends that I think it's very important for Indonesia, okay, and I think it's something that Indonesian businesses do expect, is the concept of customer centricity. Okay, delivering good customer service. Okay, and in order to deliver good customer service, you need to understand, or your fleet needs to be visible to you. Okay, you need to there must be a certain level of fleet visibility that you might have, right? So what do I mean by good customer service? So good customer service means when I plan for delivery, okay, I tell my customer, uh, so for example, today is Tuesday. Okay, the delivery is done tomorrow on Wednesday. Okay. Today when I plan the delivery, I should inform the customer, oh, your one pallet of goods is going to be delivered to this convenience store by between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. on Wednesday,
Mhm.
right? And then
Mhm.
on Wednesday itself, as the driver is on the way, I should be telling the customer a new ETA. Okay, so now it's a more accurate ETA. Okay, we will deliver by 10:30 instead of saying 10 to 12 to 2 p.m. Right? And why is this very, very important? It's extremely important in businesses in Indonesia. Okay, because well, not just Indonesia, anywhere around the world. Okay, because uh, people need to get ready for deliveries, right? It's not as simple of just delivering there when you're a business. So you think of it as if you're delivering to a restaurant or a convenience store. Okay, what happens if you deliver during lunchtime in a restaurant? Okay, there's no one to receive your delivery. Everyone is serving food, right? Is busy doing other things, cooking, waiting the tables, etc. Right? And food delivery is not so simple. When I deliver, I must check, right? Because it's food. You don't mess around with food, right? You check the items, and all that kind of stuff, right? And these are some things that's starting to be of great importance in Indonesia, right? As quality of life goes up, as cost of living goes up, people do expect these things. Okay, and that's something that PTV aims to do as well, because we have control tower solutions that actually allow for businesses to understand where exactly is the truck. Okay, calculation of ETA from point to point and communicating that to the customer. I think that's very, very important, right? So in order for the customer to be efficient, the people delivering must be efficient as well. So as long as the entire supply chain is efficient, cost will not go up so much, and less cost will be eventually transferred to the people. Because I think you can see this, right? You can see this trend as I'm explaining. If the guy at Alphamart once says that he has no time, he doesn't know when the delivery is coming, right? He needs another person to be there to watch for the delivery. Suddenly, Alphamart now has two employees. Okay. And if all the Alphamart has two employees instead of one employee, okay, the business, Alphamart profitability will drop because cost of labor goes up. Okay. And as a business, obviously, their goal is to make profit, right? And if they don't make profit, what they'll do next, they'll increase the cost for the end consumer. So all your mineral water and all your little things will go up by a bit. Okay. So there is great impact to the end consumer. And as a business, I think we want to prevent that. Okay. The whole goal of PTV is actually to reduce cost, increase productivity. Okay. And one of the most important global trends, customer centricity, is very important for Indonesia as cost of business continues to go up. Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
having good customer service means having a efficient supply chains.
Yes, it's about creating value for the customer. It's
Yeah.
about creating value for the end customer, right? As long as if I have good customer service, I can be efficient. Okay, and my customers will value me. Okay, and that prevents other unnecessary costs from adding up, on the customer side of things, right? Other than the customer centricity, I think Indonesia, especially from a geographical perspective, is also very interesting. I think it's the country with the most number of islands in the world,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So one of the interesting trends looking at is what we call multimodal transportation, right?
Mhm.
So what this means is that middle mile deliveries are not only done by road vehicles, they're also done by ships, by ferries, right?
Mhm.
And these are the things that can be included inside optimization plans as well,
Okay.
right? Okay,
Yeah.
to understand, so when we have a fixed ferry schedule, how do we then leverage on this ferry schedule, okay, in order to do multimodal deliveries from island to island in the most effective way?
Yeah, that's very an important point you mentioned before. And Indonesia is obviously known for having a complex geography, and it seems like we could be a place that could truly benefit from adopting these solutions.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
I think that the challenge in this particular case for Indonesia is the investments that will go into this type of platform. Okay,
Yeah.
because it's really a new multimodal might be a very new way of doing things,
Yeah.
in Indonesia, right? And it,
Might
it
not
does
be
re
familiar.
yes, not very familiar, and it does require platforms for this to happen and for businesses to support this type of platforms. And businesses should probably, and that's where I guess collaboration will come in, right?
Yeah.
Businesses do need to collaborate to understand, to provide the data. So, for example, uh, PTV, if we want to do something like this in Indonesia, right, to do multimodal for ferries and all that, we do actually need input from ferry companies to actually share with us their schedules, their spare capacities. We need the train companies to also let us know what are their schedules, their spare capacity, so that we have that information and so that the customers have that information as well. Yeah.
It's very important, yeah, to remember that we should not rely on our companies only, but we need collaboration
Yes.
in order to create something a lot better.
Yeah, absolutely. I think opportunities are many. I think the problem is not opportunities. It's not the lack of opportunities. I think the problem is getting support and investment into the type of opportunities.